One of the most important realities of being a Christian is that we stand out as a different person from those that don't have any faith. There are a whole bunch of people in the world that really don't believe in God. They believe more in money. They believe more in power. They believe more in sensual satisfaction that comes to them, and that becomes their God. And yet you and I, we are trying as best we can to make sure we don't become seduced by those powers and that we're centering our life more and more on God. This is hard because sometimes the argument about belief in God can become a little weak. It seems when we have tragedies in the world, there might be a terrible hurricane, thousands of people are killed, or perhaps a sickness comes across the world, something that no human being had really tried to do, and it seems to be at the hand of God. And we say, well, I don't believe there's any God. I don't believe there's any life after death. But then we start to make a commitment in our hearts and in our minds to God. We say yes to God. We say yes to faith in God. Yes to God's miracles working in our lives. The Bible is filled with the stories of people who have encountered God, people who are struggling with faith and belief in God. One of them was a man by the name of Zachariah, the father of John the Baptist, the husband of Elizabeth. When he was an old man, and it seemed that he and Elizabeth were not going to have any children, God came and said, you are going to have a child, and it's going to be a great child. He couldn't believe, because all he could handle were the things that were in front of him, the things he could touch, the things he could see. He couldn't believe in the miracle of faith that God was asking of him. Well, we know that eventually, even after he had some struggles, he was struck mute and he wasn't able to communicate and move in an ordinary way. God touched his heart and moved him with the reality of faith. May we, in the midst of all of the struggles and doubts, reach out to the Lord and say, yes, I believe in you, and may that allow the miracle of hope and life to change our lives. May Jesus' love for you always make you smile.